In 2009, a young rookie named Steph Curry signed a 4-year deal with Nike. At the end of the deal, Curry was among the 40 best players in the NBA. And so Nike tried to re-sign him. Well, until they made a very dumb mistake. At the pitch, Nike's agent didn't even know how to pronounce his name. But most importantly, in their slideshow they confused him with Kevin Durant, which ultimately led to Steph signing with Under Armour. So stick with me to discover how Nike lost a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. Steph Curry has almost single-handedly transformed Under Armour from a distant afterthought of a brand to a real competitor with brands like Nike and Adidas. At this point, Curry's name is synonymous with Under Armour, for better or for worse. But it wasn't always like this. To this day, Nike has the majority of NBA players locked into a deal. In fact, Nike has a staggering 95.5% of the market. The company has even signed 74 of all NBA players to a deal. 3 of every 4 NBA players have a shoe deal with Nike. Nike also has 11 of the 15 highest paid endorsement deals in all of sports, including contracts with LeBron, KD, MJ, Kobe, Kyrie and many more. In the 2012 Olympics, 11 of the 12 players on the US men's team were signed by Nike. Even their coach had a deal with the big swoosh. Steph Curry was meant to have a shoe deal with Nike. Greg, Curry's godfather, worked for the company. Steph grew up wearing Nikes, and as a top draft pick, Nike normally has first dibs on most players of his quality. When he graduated from college, it only made sense for him to sign with Nike, which he did in 2009. Steph Curry signed a 4-year contract with the organization, and aside from his many ankle issues, Curry enjoyed a fairly successful first 4 years in the league. But it wasn't until the final year of his contract with Nike that he really had his breakout season in 2013. He really found his place in the NBA, dropping 54 at Madison Square Garden, wearing the Nike Zoom Hyperfuses and breaking the NBA record for 3-pointers made in the season. We were all just beginning to see the true potential of the future 2-time MVP, and so was Nike. So it would only make sense for them to re-sign Curry to another deal. Right after Curry's contract was up, he was free to hear pitches from other companies, and one of those companies was of course Nike. See, just because they were the first to sign him doesn't mean he had to stick with them. He was available to sign a deal with anyone, but Nike did want him, kinda. The company set up a meeting with Steph and his father Dell to pitch their deal, but right from the jump something didn't seem right. Nike categorizes their athletes into tiers. The top tier were athletes like Kobe, LeBron and KD. Well, immediately Steph could tell Nike did not see him as a top tier athlete or even a priority for that matter. To start things off, Nike had given Kyrie and Anthony Davis their own youth development camps, but not Curry, even though Steph joined the league years before them. The next mistake Nike made during their pitch was only offering Curry $2.5 million for the deal. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take a cool $2.5 million to wear some shoes any day, but I'm not Steph Curry. Under Armour, a much smaller company at the time, offered Curry $4 million, but it gets worse. During Nike's pitch to the Curry family, they used a slideshow and one of those slides had Kevin Durant's name on it. Nike used the same exact slideshow during Durant's pitch and forgot to change the names. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, I've messed up slideshows here and there in school. You know, forgot to change a picture or two, but confusing an athlete's name? But that's not even the worst part. The Nike representative that was pitching the deal to Curry called him Stefan, not Stephen. Curry was with Nike for 4 years at this point, and the man giving the pitch didn't even know his name. Needless to say, Steph and his dad stopped paying attention at that point and turned down the deal from Nike. Under Armour swooped in and signed Steph to a deal and pronounced his name correctly in the process, but the deal with Under Armour goes beyond the money. Steph felt like he was important with Under Armour, like he was a priority and not just another athlete. And he was right, because Under Armour has allowed Steph to do things that no other company would, like putting his favorite Bible verse on his shoe. He was also given partial ownership of the company, something no other major company has offered to any athlete ever, and it paid off big time, because in just 2 years, Curry has managed to single-handedly double Under Armour's worth from $14 billion to $28 billion. At this point, Under Armour did not want to make the same mistake Nike made, so in 2015, Under Armour offered Curry a deal he couldn't refuse, and so he signed again. Furthermore, they decided to subscribe to his YouTube channel and their company worth immediately went up, so maybe you should do the same. Curry's new deal with Under Armour is said to be worth up to $1 billion by 2024, and whether you think the Currys are hot or not, they are the best selling shoe of any active NBA player. Quite honestly, Curry is to Under Armour what Jordan was to Nike. Curry and Under Armour have become so familiar that it's hard to imagine at one point in time Nike had their hands on the future NBA champion. But yeah, they messed that one up in a hurry. I guess that's what happens when you don't even know your own athlete's name. With some of the great young players coming up in today's league, let's hope these companies learn from this catastrophic mistake. From a $2.5 million deal to increasing a company's value by $14 billion. Curry says joining Under Armour was one of the best decisions he's made in his entire career. On the other hand, the guy pitching Nike's deal to Curry may have just ended his own career. The mistake that Nike made back then probably still haunts them today. Over the years, Steph's career has gotten better and better. Not only did he win 2 MVP titles, but also 4 championships, and almost everyone would agree that he is the best shooter the NBA has ever seen. Just because a player isn't the best in the league yet, doesn't mean that you have to treat him with no respect, send the B team to his pitch, pronounce his name wrongly, and confuse his name with another athlete on a PowerPoint which would take less than 1 minute to change. But Nike isn't the only one making mistakes. Sometimes NBA teams use their draft picks stupidly, and players who develop into great talents end up being traded worse than they should have. So check out this video about NBA players who should have been number 1 draft picks if you want to know more. Seriously, just click it. I'll see you there.